What are the chances that Kirk Cousins will be the starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings in 2024? I bring this up after Bill Barnwell's column for ESPN titled 2023 NFL Draft Winners, Losers, Players Most Impacted by Rookies. Barnwell has Cousins as one of the winners following the draft, writing, quote, Minnesota made it through most of the weekend without adding real competition for him, meaning Cousins, before eventually using a fifth-round pick on 25-year-old Jaren Hall, who doesn't project to be an NFL starter. As a result, Cousins should be assured of starting through the entirety of the 2023 season, we agree there at least, if he can help the Vikings stave off what is widely expected to be a decline driven by their record in one-score games regressing towards the mean. He might even be the guy in 2024 and beyond. Well, that's certainly a theory, a projected baseline for Kirk to meet in order to get another Vikings contract. Since 4th and 8, though, my stance on Cousins could not be any clearer. But to start this off, I'm going to take myself out of it and try to look at it from the lens of the organization. Back in January, following the playoff loss to the Giants, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah said in a press conference, quote, "We're trying to meet a talent threshold that's a championship standard." Those were his words, not mine. We don't know the official schedule yet. That will be released later. We do know the opponents for the Vikings in 2023. Besides the NFC North teams, you've got some tough games against Kansas City, San Francisco, Philadelphia, Cincinnati. Chargers, they won't be a layup. And divisional games are always going to be battles. But going back to Barnwell, well, if Kirk Cousins can stave off the expected decline, he could be the quarterback for 2024 and beyond. Maybe make the playoffs, go one and done again. That's okay, Kirk, because at least you helped us not fall off as badly as we expected to. Is that a championship standard? No, that's just lip service. The Chiefs, they went to the playoffs 3 out of 4 years with Alex Smith. They could have said to themselves, we're fine, right? We're in a good spot. No, because after going one and done, losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 2016 playoffs, the following draft, they traded up and grabbed Patrick Mahomes. The 49ers, they went to 2 conference championship games and a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. They were never committed to him. Kirk Cousins, it's over. He's the 96 Civic or Corolla that you managed to squeeze out over 400,000 miles. Getting a tune-up now isn't going to make a difference, and I'm going to continue to bang down the doors for the Vikings to trade up for next year's first overall pick to select Caleb Williams until it doesn't happen. And for everyone that was so gung-ho for the Vikings, oh, you got to trade up for Anthony Richardson in the top 5, don't tell me that this is out of the realm of possibility. 13-4 last year, that's going to be tough to follow up with a brutal schedule next year. Likely a higher pick in 2024. And for the number 1 pick, you just need a team that already has a young quarterback that they're not ready to give up on. I would not be surprised if it's either Carolina or Houston. Hell, the Jacksonville Jaguars, for example, they drafted Trevor Lawrence with the first pick in the 2021 draft. The following year, 2022, they got the number 1 pick again. If you want to build a championship standard, well, you got to make the necessary moves. But giving out a contract extension as a reward, because, oh my God, thank you so much for not letting us fall off too hard from a 13-4 one-and-done season a year ago. That ain't it. Whether it's Jaren Hall or a quarterback in next year's draft, don't string this along any further. It's done. Off topic. I'm very interested in the downfall of the Green Bay Packers. A lot of it's jealousy, sure, but going 3 decades with Hall of Fame quarterback play is ridiculous. Every team goes through their rough patch at quarterback, which for the most part can last for years, but not for Green Bay, though. And I'd like to think that now is finally the time for them to get their just desserts. We'll see how it plays out. I need to see how the season goes first before I cast judgment, because I've learned my lesson from before. When Brett Favre went to New York, in comes Aaron Rodgers. I said, oh, hell yeah, bring on the suffering, baby. And then his first year as a full-time starter, 2008, Aaron Rodgers, week 1 against the Vikings at Lambeau Field. Completed 82% of his passes, 1 touchdown in the air, another on the ground in a 24-19 win for the Packers. I said, you have got to be kidding me. The The throw on his passes, the magic at which the ball traveled with, the scrambling abilities, I knew he was going to be a problem for a long time. And hopefully Jordan Love can bring the Packers back down to earth. And now it's comments time. First comment is by Paul Fonseca. We watched and complained last year's defense being soft. Now we have a completely different defensive coordinator, and just that will greatly help our defense be perhaps 18th best to 20th around there in the middle. Man, if this defense can jump up towards the middle of the pack defensively off of coaching alone, that'd be huge. I still have question marks personnel-wise, defensive line. Can you generate enough of a consistent pass rush? Going from the second worst defense last year, I will give you this. I'll say they'll at least be in the low 20s. That's a major improvement. And they won't allow bum-ass quarterbacks to look like superstars against us anymore, particularly Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones against the Eagles in the divisional round of the playoffs, that's the real Daniel Jones. Except against us twice last year, Ed Donatel made him look like Joe freaking Montana. It's ridiculous. Missing in Action says, I was annoyed when we let go of Curse. If Ward turns out anything like him, I'd be very happy. I was a big J-Ron Curse fan, man, and I was so annoyed when we let him go. This was a guy that made such an impact playing multiple positions, regardless of the limited opportunities that he got. I remember the game-saving play he made against the Denver Broncos. I forgot what year it was, but if I'm not mistaken, it was against the backup quarterback. We barely won that game. To me, Jay Ward, he's that guy right now. With Brian Flores, this man can absolutely flourish and be a big-time factor for this Vikings defense. And lastly, Michael Mason says, 2021, Andre Carter II tied Aiden Hutchinson for the highest pass rush grade in the nation. Enough said, potential is there. Had an injury, got chipped or double teamed most of 2022. End of the day, this kid has the traits you want to attempt to develop. I agree. The talent is there. The size, 6'7", are you kidding me? And maybe you could make the argument if he widens up his frame, he'll be a little bit better. But to me, that's not as important as the technique. Said before, he likes to charge offensive tackles a little high up, standing too tall. You want to get an angle before you make the attacks. And although I gave the analysis that he has an outside shot to make the team, Ivan Pace Jr., that's a for sure lock on this roster. But Andre Carter II, he has a chance. I was wrong because the Vikings, after I saw they made a big commitment to him with his contract, $300,000 guaranteed, plus a $40,000 signing bonus, that to me says he will be on the team. He will be a factor. They are going to use this man.